Hello, Maisa. This is exciting. We have people from all over. Very cool.
Oh, Sept just joined as well. I think Sept is calling in from India.
Yeah, hi, I'm from India.
Awesome. Glad that you were able to join. What time is it there?
Yeah, it's 9:30 p.m. here, and I'm so lucky to be recognized as Parlay certified educator. Parlay has changed the way I used to have virtual discussions in my social science classroom. Thank you so much.
Wow, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Even I am so excited to learn more about Parlay because I want to introduce Parlay to my Indian community of educators who are not very well aware of this platform.
Certainly.
So I'm going to organize a professional development session for my Indian teacher community very soon. And I want to learn today so that I can also conduct a professional development session for them in my language so that the regional community also starts using Parlay.
That's
I'm very
awesome.
excited about today's session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Claudette just joined. Thanks for joining, Claudette. Everybody feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. Maybe tell us where you're coming or calling in from, maybe what you teach as well. I'm just going to close the door.
Good morning. Thank you for today's session. I was introduced to Parlay from a colleague who also provides, as I do, professional development for teachers and administrators, and I'm realizing I'm not using it to its capability. So I'm very excited to learn more about how to use it to promote this course rather than just a place to make assignments.
That's
awesome.
Fantastic. We'll do a deep dive for sure today. Hello, Chris and Claudette.
Chris and Claudette, I believe you two are actually probably close to each other as well, both in Houston. Oh, someone's calling in from Orca Island, Washington. Probably lots of smoke there.
Yes.
All right, we're probably going to wait a few more minutes to just get started. I know it's the time is tight today. I know a lot of people are on their lunch hour, or perhaps it's still early morning or night from where you're calling in. So we'll just wait a couple more minutes. Feel free for everybody who's joining to introduce yourself in the chat, but we'll get started in a couple. Welcome, Sandra, another fellow Canadian joining us. That's awesome. Welcome, Zuleya from Istanbul. Awesome. Looks like Sue has just joined us from Lakefield. Hi, Sue.
Yeah, Claudette, we definitely have an international crowd here today. Super exciting. Hey, Carmen from Spain, and Maria, and Stacy, hello. Diana, Jennifer, welcome. Lots of different subject areas too, eh? ESL, social sciences, technology. Wow. Philosophy. Yes, Charles, we will be talking about Socratic style discussions.
Jeff, thanks for joining Hawaii. It must be early morning there. Thanks for joining. We'll just get started in 1 more minute or so.
Hello, Maureen and Judy and Heather. Don't tell the kids I'm multitasking.
Awesome. I'm sure there's quite a few of you who are multitasking in the group today. Awesome. So I think we're going to get started. Welcome everybody for joining. We will be recording the session today, so if you need to leave or if you need to pop off and do something else that you're multitasking, that's totally fine. We'll be sending out the recording afterwards. Just to start out, I know everybody's been introducing themselves, which is awesome. Please continue to do that in the chat. But just a little more about ourselves for any of you who are not, who don't know us. I'm Anna Lisa from Parlay.
And I'm Cynthia from Parlay. We're both instructional strategists here.
We're actually both Ontario certified educators. So Parlay, we're based in Toronto, Canada. We actually are both teachers. Like I said, I started teaching overseas, as did you as well, right?
That's right. We both taught abroad to start things off, which we definitely apply to Parlay, and we both actually love using the tool in our classroom and have had actual in-class experiences having these discussions with students.
So today we're going to be focusing on the Big Bang. So if anybody's not already familiar, we've made tons of really new and exciting changes to the Parlay Universe, which we'll be outlining today. So it's not going to be a full-blown demo of the actual tool. We're going to focus specifically on the new changes in the Parlay Universe. Okay, so thanks everybody again for joining. If anybody has questions as we're going through today, please put them in the chat. We do have another screen open here and we can see the comments coming through, which is great. So if you have specific questions, we're going to do our best to address them as we go through.
Perfect. So while we might have a lot of longtime Parlay users here, for some that are just joining for the first time or you're just getting used to Parlay, first of all, welcome. And let's just do a quick overview of the 3 main parts of Parlay. The first being the Parlay Universe, which is what we'll be focusing on today. This is our growing library of discussion prompts. You can explore thousands of different topics, and they are divided based on subject areas, and then further divided into different collections. So maybe if you're a science teacher, you can take a look at our science roundtables and discussions and further explore some collections like STEM, controversies in genetics, and also topics of the future. We refer to these instructional discussions as roundtables, and they've been created by our team and of course by the Parlay community. As a teacher, what you can do is go into the Parlay Universe and select a topic. You can make any edits to this topic, or you can create your own entirely. From there, a lot of teachers like to get started with the online roundtable activity. So this is a written discussion. Lots of unique features involved, probably the most popular being the anonymous identities in which students will be able to participate under a secret identity feature. We also have data visualizations to measure the discussion. You are able to customize a rubric for assessment, and then we provide peer feedback instructions and questions to help students build on each other's ideas.
What's really cool is that through this whole transition to remote and virtual learning, there's been a few different ways that you could actually use the online roundtable. So you could use it synchronously, you could use it asynchronously, or in some cases, kind of a blend of both. And then when you get that really interesting data, you could so easily transition to a live discussion and use some of that data to spark discussion in a verbal session or a synchronous session. So the live roundtable, if anybody's not familiar with it, that's kind of like a Socratic seminar. It's a verbal discussion that encourages really everyone to participate and everybody to speak up in the discussion. And again, lots of really interesting data that you can analyze with your group to improve individually, but also as a group. So again, we're not going to be going deep into the online roundtable or the live roundtable today. That's just for anybody who's joining who's not too familiar. Today we'll be focusing specifically on the Parlay Universe and how you can share your content and use the content from other people in the community. If anybody would like to join one of the daily webinars where we go deeper into each of these things, you could sign up on the website, or you could just let us know and we can invite you to a webinar as well where we talk about some of those things.
All right, so Anna Lisa, why the update?
Yes, why the update? So there's a few different reasons, but one of the things that we've been noticing over the past few years is this kind of shift towards student-driven instruction, of course, and away from content focus to a little more of a skills focus. And with that, of course, comes with the nature of 2020, where things are changing all the time, and the content that we're teaching and we're focusing on seems to be constantly changing as well. And we've noticed that a lot of the teachers in the Parlay community have been asking to share their roundtables. So making this universe a little bit more open and allowing the ability for teachers to actually share and follow each other is something that really drove this update.
Mm-hmm. And we're also focused here on saving teachers time. So one of the main goals of this is to be able to have teachers go into the universe and be able to access a whole range of different topics that with one click you can edit and publish. We know it takes a lot of time firsthand to plan and handle all the administrative work when it comes to teaching. So this universe launch, you're going to be able to access a lot more content now and be able to use it in your own classroom.
Yeah, and with that, our goal is to really connect this global community. As you can see, we have people joining from really all over the world today, and each of us has our own areas of expertise and really methods of prompting great discussion with our students. And the more that we could share with each other and learn from each other as educators, obviously that's going to allow our students to really get that global education that all of us are striving for, and allow us to bring those different perspectives from a teaching point of view as well into our classrooms. So in terms of what's actually new, we'll just do a quick high-level overview, and then we'll actually go in and we'll be showing you what's new and how you could work with that on the universe. So you're going to be able to curate your own portfolio. There's improved searchability, so it's a lot easier to find what you're looking for now. Topics and collections and authors as well, themes. You'll be able to track replications, so essentially be able to see how many times your discussion has been run in other classrooms, which is really cool to see. You can start to bookmark topics, so instead of adding them right into your Parlay course, in your Parlay course, you can bookmark them and save them for later. And lastly, you could also follow other teachers. So we're going to show you all how you can curate your portfolios and follow other teachers to get updates when other teachers share their content with the universe.
So shall we dive in?
I think we should.
Let's go.
Okay, so first, I think what's probably most interesting is trying to find the universe. So in case anybody's not already familiar, to get to the universe, basically, you go to universe.parlayideas.com. You could also find it by going to the parlayideas.com homepage, and I believe it says Browse Topics, so you can start by going there. And then when you land on the page, obviously you're going to now see the featured roundtables, you're going to see a login button, but the first thing we wanted to show you is improved searchability.
So you can now search by tags, titles, keywords that might appear in those discussions, collections. So for instance, if we type in short stories here, we're going to not only be able to see all of the roundtables that feature short stories, but to look at some collections, as well as some of the authors and teachers that have actually published collections relating to short stories. So here's where you can really dive in and explore, and maybe you'd be interested in connecting with some of these teachers or taking a look at some of these individual roundtables. So Katie here, we can see that she teaches grade 6 to 8. So just on the left here, we get a little bit more information about the user, including the subject areas that she focuses on, which is great. You can now see the replications as we briefly mentioned. So you're going to be able to see how many times that individual roundtable has been used with groups of students. So in this case, this particular roundtable had 23 replications, which is really great. And then in general, we can also take a look at collectively how many replications Katie's roundtables have had in general. So it can be a really great way to see how your content is being used by others and supporting other classrooms around in the community.
Something else that's really new is the Parlay Certified Badge. So if a Roundtable has been vetted from the Parlay team, then you'll see that little universe badge there. So that's how you know this has been perhaps checked over and the work has been edited a little bit by our team, and you'll be able to see that.
So this is kind of our typical template of an online roundtable, but as you mentioned, you can edit them as you need. So there's going to be a lot of variation. So definitely explore your subject area to take a closer look at how other teachers have been creating roundtables. But why don't we go to a collection here?
Yeah.
So we can see all of the different subjects and some of the collections to follow. Can I pick my favorite?
Which one's your favorite?
Chemistry.
Oh.
Science and innovation chemistry. Yeah.
Yes, this one has really improved over the summer, that's for sure. And there's really awesome opportunities for teachers to connect these concepts and have students do little simulations at home and share the results of those in a discussion. So we can scroll through and see all these different roundtables. One that's really great is actually Yen's profile. Let's go check out Yen. I believe Yen's actually coming from Claudette's school in Harmony, Texas. So Yen's profile is pretty much all about, I think it's chemistry and a little more about biology as well. Looks like her roundtables have been run 50 times from other teachers in other classrooms around the world. And we could specifically go through and we could see all the different ones that Claudette has shared with the community.
Looks awesome, Yen. Now there's one other portfolio I thought we might want to take a look at.
Who's that?
Let's go back to the home page. And as we can see, we're going to have our Getting Started collection, which is a great place to get started. Lots of low stakes prompts to get students used to the tool in general. Exploring different subject areas. The Featured Roundtables collection, which is here at the top, is going to have roundtables that are connected to what's going on in the real world. Very important for current times, so definitely recommend going in there. But this one in particular, Why Consult Multiple Sources and Perspectives, by our very own Anna Lisa Martin, has been run 336 times. That's fantastic. And so I'm just going to take a little bit of a closer look into your portfolio, if that's okay.
Go ahead. I already spent time to set it up, so it should be good to go.
Okay, well, let me take a look here. I'm just kidding. So we can see Annalisa here teaches a wide range of grades and likes to focus on a lot of different subject areas, which is great. She's provided a little bio about herself. And now we can take a look at a few of the tabs within her portfolio. The first being that she has created 30 roundtables, and these are what is going to be featured in this first tab, being her portfolio. So from why discussions to practicing gratitude. Wow, this is a very impressive portfolio so far. Let's continue. In the Publish tab here, these are the roundtables that Annalisa has run and used with her class. So I noticed that she's taken them from the universe, and you've taken from Bobby's and from Nicolette. So you've really benefited from taking a look at some of the other teachers in the community. That's great. The third are the bookmarked roundtables. So maybe you'll see a topic that you might want to run in the future. You can simply bookmark it, and it's going to be saved into your portfolio here, and so you can access it a little bit later when you're ready to run it. So here I can see maybe some of the topics that you're considering running in the future, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, this makes it a lot easier so you don't have to add it to your Parlay class every single time that you see something you like. You can save it, and especially with the thousands of topics that we have in there, you don't have to go searching for it again, which is great.
Totally. And finally, we have her followers and who she is actually following as well.
Yeah, so this is another really big feature. You'll be able to follow other teachers, and this is going to pop when they publish new content. It's going to come up as the first collection on your page. And then I could also go in, for example, if I go in and see Daryl, I'm not sure if he's joining here today, but I could learn more about the topics that he's sharing throughout the year as he's publishing them.
Awesome. Looks good. Shout out to Daryl.
Yeah, shout out to Daryl. I believe he was at Leyset American School in Switzerland. Looks like he's now in New York. And he's teaching the IB program for anybody who might also be
I
teaching.
could show you right now really fast, but also
yeah, I don't care. You're fine.
I don't want to.
I'm not in a diamond. So I was.
Screencastify, I will say.
One second, just gotta mute somebody.
No problem. So our next step here is we're going to show you how to log in and actually set up and edit your profile. So logging into the Universe in Parlay, just up at the top right corner, you can use a single sign-on with Google or Microsoft account, or you can log in with your own. Today we're going to be logging in with our account, which is Socrates account. That's what we named it. And so what we can do here is now we can take a little bit of a closer look at Daryl's, and we notice that the follow button appears. So yeah, let's give him a follow for sure. And let's take a look at our portfolio.
So at any point to see your portfolio, you just have to click your name in the top right-hand corner, click My Portfolio, and this is where you can edit. So I have made some edits, but we're going to go in and show you how you could set it up.
Oh, we definitely need a Socrates quote in there, right?
Ooh.
Yes, we'll have to think of that. If anyone knows a Socrates quote, let us know so we can. Yeah. I mean, it's a simple Google search away, but yeah, we can see here that we can edit our names, upload an image. If you would like to customize your URL, you can also do that to make it very easy to look your profile up if you would like to share it in that way. We can add a little bit of information about ourselves. And then finally, outline which grade level that we teach. So it can make it really great to connect with teachers in that same subject area, in the same grade level. From there, I can also pick the subjects that I'm interested in. And from there, we can see that we'll have roundtables that will be recommended to us within these subject areas.
Awesome. And so once you've kind of curated your portfolio, now other teachers and educators around the world can learn a little bit more about you and what you teach, perhaps even what your credentials are and what experience you have working with discussions in your classrooms. You might want to share this on a different social media, or maybe you want to link it to other teachers. You could always copy this link, and anybody, they don't need to be logged in, they can now see your portfolio and they can learn more about the topics that you have here. So for example, let's say I want to go and add this to Twitter, then I'd be able to click that button and it's going to prompt to actually share that as a tweet.
Discussion buff alert.
Awesome. All right, so you could change that up. Of course, you could do Facebook or LinkedIn and be able to share with your fellow teachers. So again, you can go in and start to follow other people by clicking their profile, and you can check out who they are following, or you can go ahead and find roundtables in the universe that you think you like, or you think that author is going to that is going to have interesting content that you'd like to follow. You'll also get that little who to follow category when you're on your homepage here. And so when you're logged into your homepage, you'll get now updates from teachers you follow. So we could see Katie Burns had one on human rights, and Cynthia had one on should every child receive a trophy. And I could scroll through here and see all these other ones. Katie Sauer, Miss Labrachosa. Cool. So let's say I go into this discussion by Katie Sauer. Now I'm going to actually be able to see that bookmarking option. So I know somebody just asked in the chat how to bookmark. That bookmark option will not show up unless you are logged into your account, because then it's of course going to register that you are logged in, and it's going to add to your profile. So again, if you're on the universe right now, you can click login, and it should, if you click that button, it's going to become pink basically, and then it's going to show up on your profile. So let's go test it out. Bookmark, I'm going to go to my portfolio here, and then now I should be getting all the ones that I've bookmarked and saved for later.
Looks great. Now, how about if we want to create a new roundtable from scratch? How would we go about doing that?
Oh, yes. That's a great idea. So you can't actually create a new one from scratch when you're in the universe. You'd have to do it in Parlay. So I'm going to publish one actually to my account first, so I can show you what that looks like. So let's say we want to have this one about mirrors, windows, and sliding glass doors. If I want to have this discussion with my students, I'm going to click publish. Publish basically means you're going to publish it to your classroom on Parlay for your students. So you're going to select which course you'd like to add it to. And now it's in your course, and this is where you can make any edits that you'd like before you actually invite students. So we've taken the one from the universe, we've published it in, and then we're going to make some changes before we actually add our students. So this is the step you're going to take to actually customize it for the group that you're working with. You're going to maybe change up the assessment, you're going to change up your feedback, and then you're going to go and actually invite them. I know somebody just asked, if you want to do this for 5 classes in one day, what would you do? That's when you would actually come in and start to duplicate the round table. So you make your different copies for the different groups that you're working with. All right, so if we wanted to create a brand new one and actually share that, what we would do next is...
So we are within our social studies course here, so I'm going to select create new. I'm going to get started with an online, so let's go and create that one. I have a few options here. I can take a RoundTable to edit from the Parlay Universe if it's ready to go. I can also take one from my current portfolio, or I can create my own, which is what I'd like to do. So let's start from scratch here. And what that's going to do is it's going to generate the RoundTable template here. So typically divided into 4 parts. We like to start off with our learning goals, as is very important when beginning any lesson. We also like to outline maybe some of the skills and the discussion skills that the students will be working on. The content and multimedia section here can feature any resources that will be relevant and helpful for the students to answer those discussion questions. That is the 3rd part there. We have our higher order thinking questions that we like to feature in this section. We have our discussion framework that we use to craft discussion questions that you can access on Parlay Ideas in our resources section. So if you're ever curious about how our team goes about creating, or if you wanted some more information and resources, please feel free to check out that document. And then finally, we provide some instructions for how students can give feedback to one another and actually build on the discussion of each other's ideas. So it looks like we're good to go. I'd like to save those changes. Maybe I might want to change the name of my roundtable as well. So we can name it New Roundtable. This is
my new roundtable.
Perfect.
Something I just wanted to add here, actually, a question that we get a lot is, will everyone always be able to see what I'm doing with my students? And that's definitely not the case. So whatever you're creating in Parlay, when you get that blue bar at the top, that means that it's private to you and no one else can see it. Only if you'd like to add to the universe and share the content with other teachers and other educators, then you would go ahead and click add to universe, and that's going to now give us this new option to add it to the universe.
Mm-hmm. I also noticed somebody commented regarding different languages. So we actually see lots of roundtables come in. Since you can make it from scratch, you can create your own roundtable in any language, and we also have a modern languages collection to explore as well.
Awesome.
So this is our, what did we call it? This is my new roundtable. So when I've gone ahead and let's say we filled this all in, a few more things that I might want to do. The first is I can add an image if I would like. That's completely up to you. You can insert videos and pictures and articles into the actual roundtable by selecting the icons at the top. I can select on the side here which subject areas that I would that this is related to, as well as the grades that it's appropriate for. If I would like to add any tags, I can certainly do so. So if it's regarding a certain geography or for middle school or whatever might be helpful to support other community members find these roundtables. If I would like to provide a little description, notes, maybe you want to outline exactly which curriculum notes that this would relate to, you can certainly do that. And then finally, we have some feedback questions that you can choose to include. So you can toggle those on or off if you would like, and you can create your own entirely.
Something I just wanted to add as well. I was actually talking to Carrie from Summit, New Jersey. I think she's in today. She reminded me that you might not want to turn all of these on at the same time. So you're probably only going to want to choose one or two, or especially if you're doing a different language, maybe you're going to want to add your own sentence stems in another language at the bottom. For your math or science teacher, maybe some more process-based or peer feedback-based questions at the bottom, but you wouldn't want to turn all of them on because maybe that would be a little overwhelming for your students.
So now we have a few options in terms of how we would like to save the roundtable. The first is we can make it public. So if we save it as public, anybody can look it up and access it and actually take it and create a copy and edit it if they'd like. So that is contributing right there to the Parlay Universe, which is great. Maybe you would like to keep it unlisted. This essentially means that those with the link to your roundtable will be able to view it.
So that would be helpful. Let's say you have a group of teachers that you're working with at your school. You don't really want to open it up to the whole world, but maybe just your co-teachers. If you keep it unlisted, basically you're going to save it. It's going to appear as unlisted on your portfolio, so only you can see it. And then you'll basically just be able to copy this link and share it with your co-teachers, and they will be able to see this discussion, and only them. So anyone with the link can view, kind of like Google.
Yes. And then finally we have drafts. So maybe you're still working on it and you'd like to come back and do some edits before publishing. You can save it as a draft.
Great. The last thing is you could also now add in your own thumbnails, so your own picture for the roundtable as it shows up on your portfolio. We highly encourage you to use, of course, the image source so we know where it's coming from, and then you could essentially save your changes. The last thing that I just wanted to highlight as well is you might want to duplicate the roundtable. So maybe you're making a copy for one course, but maybe you're making a more robust version for another group of students. You could duplicate this and then basically have two copies that you can make separate edits to as well. So once I save these changes, I should now see on my profile this new discussion that is saved as a draft. So when you're logged in, this is where you'll see the ones that are public. They won't have any sort of square. Basically, all these ones will be public, or they are unlisted. You can only see them as unlisted, of course, and then you'll see the ones that are drafts. All right, any questions about that so far? We'll take a pause and see if there's any questions in here. Okay. All right, so let's try and copy this link and share it. Let's see how you would do that. I'm gonna make a copy for all of you. I'm gonna copy this link and I'm going to share it with the group in the chat so that you can see what it looks like when you click a link to see somebody else's portfolio. So I'm gonna copy that link. I'm gonna come and put it in the chat here for anybody who, there we go. There we go.
You can give us some peer feedback on our portfolio on Socrates if you'd like.
Yeah, so if you're not yet logged in, you can go ahead and log in order to follow. We're going to give you some kind of pointers so that you can log in and start to actually create your portfolio. So we're going to use some of the time here in the session to actually do that. So you could either click the link that I just put in the chat, or you could do the link that Cynthia just put in. And this would basically allow you to now log in. You're going to log in with Google or Microsoft, and then you're going to be able to start curating your portfolio or your profile. So you can start to add your name, change up the URL. You could add the subjects that you'd like. And then if you already have some roundtables in there, or even if you don't, we'd love if you could share the link to your profile or portfolio in the chat so we could start to see other people's. Chris just asked, is the subject area mandatory? I teach religion, unsure the best fit. You certainly don't need to put the subject area. That's something that you might want to put in the actual little open text box or the profile. You don't have to select there. In that case, though, I'll make a note of that. We probably should add a few more subject options as well. I know some feedback is probably coming up right away, which is great. We are super, super open to feedback. It's really important to us that we hear from your experience, and we're making further changes to the Parlay Universe in order to meet everyone's needs. In the long term, of course, our goal is to make this really like the largest and kind of most valuable network of discussion prompts available. And this is just the first step in that. So as feedback comes up, please do share it with us. And yeah, we're happy to make those changes. Looks like Sadie just shared the first profile in there, so it looks like you were pretty quick to it. If you click Sadie's profile, you can go ahead and follow her. And if anybody else is creating their portfolio, please share it in the chat once you're done.
Looks great so far, Sadie. I really like your bio. Looks nice. I will give it a follow.
Nice.
Yes.
Some people are asking, is this making me create a new profile although I already have a free account? Yes. So please log in with whatever account you logged into Parlay with. It should, be, of course, be your Google or your Microsoft account. Once you're logged in, then it's going to sync directly. So anybody can create an account. Anybody can develop roundtables, even with the free account. So that's totally fine.
Looking good, Sandra, high school science and chemistry teacher in Ottawa. Definitely check out the chemistry collection we briefly looked at today.
Awesome.
Let us know what you think. Oh, I see you have already taken a look in the publish. That's awesome. You've actually used some of Yen's.
Oh,
That's
great.
Glad to hear it. We agree.
Jean Marie also, she just put hers in there as well. Looks like she is an English drama and special ed teacher in New Jersey. Love teaching and been doing it for 19 years.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Awesome.
Very inviting profile, Jean Marie. I'm happy to help anyone I can. That's lovely.
That's wonderful. Especially some of us newer teachers as well. We could use all the help we can sometimes. Oh yes, some people might be getting that pop-up message if it's the first time you've logged into Parlay. So if you click that blue circle in the bottom right-hand corner, it should minimize or go away. So if you click that blue turquoise-ish little bubble in the lower right-hand corner, it should go away.
I didn't even ask what's your favorite collection.
Oh, my favorite collection?
Yeah.
I gotta say, I do really love the chemistry one, but I don't want to copy you. So I would probably say I really love the world history collection. There's so many really interesting topics from all across, of course, time and geography. So really cool to see. And really, because we have, of course, teachers from all around the world now, we're starting to see more specific topics. For example, more niche topics that here in North America we might not focus on, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. All right, looks like Marnie just shared her profile, and Judy, as well as Catherine.
You guys are rock stars at creating these. Well done. I'm excited to dive in. On fire. Marnie, K-12 STEM Outreach Manager. Wow, that's great. You can see you cover a lot of different subjects. That's going to be really helpful for math teachers. that. We've got them published. It's really exciting to see kind of what people have been bookmarking too. I think that's pretty interesting. We're planning. Hello, Judy. We've got instructional technology and library consultant. And Catherine, you teach Spanish. That's really exciting.
This platform is a dream. That's awesome. Okay, I think Charles just put his in the chat, as well as Chris Cole. I know Chris Cole, he's been using it quite a bit over the past, I believe, probably about a year. So he probably has some roundtables that he's used quite a bit. Cool. Alrighty, so Sue just added hers in as well. I believe she's been using Parlay quite a bit, or supporting teachers rather use Parlay over the past few years at Lakefield, which is just outside of Toronto. So that's cool. Miria, looks like she just shared hers. Okay, and so at this time, please keep sharing your profiles as you are creating them. We wanted to kind of go into a little Q&A section, as well as a roundtable for anybody who would like to give feedback. This would also be a really great activity for anybody who's not really sure how Parlay works and you want to try it out from student view. We're going to invite all of you to a roundtable so that you could share your first thoughts, your first ideas about what you've just seen today. So about the new universe, about anything that you've seen, any ideas or ideas that come up for future development. So we're going to put the link to this roundtable in the chat. So once you're done kind of setting up your portfolio, you can click this link and join this roundtable. So we're going to ask you which feature is really exciting to you, or do you have any feedback for us, and really any other thoughts. You could even link your portfolio there if you'd like. So you're going to obviously join in. Your secret identity will be turned on. So if you want to tell us who you are, you certainly can do that. For anyone who will be watching this recording later on, you can use this code and enter it on the homepage to actually join this roundtable. Of course, you'll be joining it asynchronously, but that's okay. You could still join in, share your feedback, and we'd be happy to hear it.
I'm having fun exploring all these new portfolios.
Yeah. Oh, I love that picture, Chris
Yeah.
Cole, the dab.
The Bitmoji dab.
That's awesome. For anyone who might be new to Parlay Student View, I'll just kind of highlight a couple things that are there in case you're not really sure what you're looking at when you click that most recent link to join the discussion, or if you're entering this code that's being displayed on the screen now. Basically, you can first see the prompt that I've set up on the right-hand side. So which features do you like most, share your feedback, link your profile. And then on the right-hand side is where you can go ahead and start to write your ideas. So you can include links, pictures, videos, of course, link your profile, and then you'll be able to see your secret identity. So this is exactly what students see when they first join. They log in with Google or Microsoft, and then they log in and they see their profile right away. So it looks like we have Josephine Baker's in there, and we have Gaur Jean and Victor Vasnetsov. as well as we have some observers. So observers are showing up as anybody who is skipping through the discussion, not writing their own original idea, but you could still see how the discussion is unfolding, and you can still comment as an observer as well. For anybody who's an observer, you could always go back and write your idea. There's a little button that says write my idea. I think it's pink, and it shows up beside your secret identity name at the bottom of the list. So that would basically bring you back to that original screen where you can write your ideas. Josephine Baker says she loves to see the content that's already created and also having the ability to make it her own. So that's cool. Whoever was Kenji in the discussion, they said, I can't go back to physical class, so you can't do the live discussions. You could actually try the live discussions remotely if you're able to use Google Meet or Zoom to have your discussion or have your classes. Then you'd certainly be able to run a live discussion. We have some links. Maybe we can share some links with you on that. Hi, Tony. Thanks for joining over from Illinois. You have to go and teach. Can you get the recording? Yes, we will be sending out the recording later today once it's uploaded, which should be within the hour, and we will send the recording to you so you could watch it.
Yeah, this info was super helpful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tony. Have fun.
Lots of great entries. Excited to start working and delving into the universe and exploring all the topics.
Yes, so Namrata just asked, how did he get the code? So I'm going to copy this link. You can click the link or enter the code. So I'm going to put the link again in the chat. So this is the one to join the roundtable. So if you click that, then you could log in with Google.
This is kind of a unique experience because we're actually having like a synchronous real-time online discussion, which is what you can definitely be doing.
Yeah,
one day too.
Exactly. Yeah. Even though kind of prior to COVID, a lot of teachers use the online roundtable for asynchronous discussions, but now we're seeing a lot more like what we're doing right now is actually running an online roundtable and synchronously. What you can do, of course, as a teacher, similar to what we're doing, is we can pull out insights, we can highlight ideas, and we can use this class time to now go deeper, reteach some of those ideas, and of course, use that class time to review the summary. I've been telling everybody this, so if anybody's heard me say it a million times, I'm sorry. But one really, really popular way that teachers have been using Parlay is actually splitting the online roundtable up into 2 parts. So you would start with maybe for homework or the class before, you'd have everybody log on, read through the prompt, look at the resources, and write their own idea. Don't leave any comments yet, everybody submit. And then when we come to our class time or we go to our synchronous session on Zoom or on Google Meets, we would actually use that class time to read through other people's ideas, write the responses, and then as a teacher, you could kind of guide some of that reflection or guide some of that highlighting of insights. So you could use the starring feature, you can go in and comment on your own. Of course, students are going to be commenting back and forth, and then you could go over the summary as well. Yeah, sure. Charles just asked a great question. Can you do some things to show the students what it's like when the teacher is actually modeling or sharing some of the information during a synchronous session? So Krishna, if you click the link that I put just above, a few messages above, if you click that and then log in with Google, then you should be brought into the discussion. So right now, I believe, let's see. So I, as a teacher, if I click that invite link, if I'm logged in as a teacher, then it's going to bring me right to my discussion, even though I clicked the student code. So this is what normally, this is what teachers see when they actually click that invite code, but they've set up the roundtable on their own. So this is what you see. Basically, we see all of our student responses, which are all of you. Here on the left-hand side, we could see all of the observers, and then we could see anyone who's clicked in but has not yet submitted. So we see Cleopatra, Einstein, John Lennon, all these people. They are maybe still writing their idea, or maybe they've clicked in, they're gonna finish it later. If you wanted to go back and find the invite link, or you wanted to invite or remove students, basically that invite link is now turned into something like this. It's the Manage Students tab. So if you click that, you will see the code, you'll see the link, and then you'll be able to go and add or remove students or add it to Google Classroom. So very similar to what you saw before. Let's say I see this really awesome post here. And I want to highlight Afua Sutherland's idea. I could put a star next to that, and all of you are going to see a notification saying that the teacher has actually started a model submission. So if you click that submission, then everybody will, then you'll be able to see what the teacher has modeled. So I, as a teacher, might say, hey, everybody go check out Afua's idea. Looks like she doesn't have any comments on her ideas, but I think she has a really interesting idea that's worth looking at. So maybe everybody go and leave a comment there. Or I might say, hey, everyone, why don't we use this time to go and comment on somebody's idea that didn't actually get any feedback yet, because our goal is to get that to 100%. And then if we were to pull up the summary, sometimes as a teacher, I would pull this up and see if I could set a goal throughout the discussion. So I might say, hey, let's see if by the end of the class, we can get everybody to, or each of these numbers to over 80. So what would we need to do that? And let's see if we can increase the word count a little bit and get to at least 2 sentences per comment. Of course, we can pull out our most popular ideas. So clearly this discussion was about the universe, profiles, teachers, Parlay ideas, like, love, feedback. That's great. And if I go into our core diagram, then I could see that our friend Cynthia here, she's been giving so much feedback to everyone.
Excited.
She's so excited. We could see her and Judy had some back and forth discussion. That's where you see that wider band. And we could see who else in here? Marnie and Charles Keller and Cindy and Sadie. We could see all these folks and who they've commented on in the discussion, which is really cool. So you'll notice when you, so on your teacher end, on your teacher end, you will see who's who. All of you, if you click the summary on your screen, which is that little pie chart in the top right-hand corner, that's where you'll get this data. It's identical to what you see on the teacher screen. The only difference is that this core diagram is going to be anonymized. So you'll just see student 1, student 2, student 3. So you could look at this information a little more agnostically before actually revealing who's who. A couple other things, because I know some people were curious about the student view. You'll notice that you cannot delete comments. If you click the 3 little dots, you can flag something for the teacher, but you can't actually delete what you're writing there. And then similar to the teacher view, you still have that screen, that menu on the side where you can open and close it to get a little more space. So I know Krishna was just asking how to log in. So if you click this link, it should bring you to the student log on screen where you can start to write your idea here. All right. I know Judy's curious about the go live button. We could spend maybe like 2 or 3 minutes doing a live roundtable. Is anybody else interested in seeing how the live roundtable works? Okay, this was certainly not our plan, but I know this is something that so many teachers are interested in. So I think we should try it out. So let's do it. Yeah. So essentially, you did an online roundtable. You got everybody to share some initial ideas about this topic. And now we're ready to go live and actually have a verbal discussion about it. So if I click go live, this is going to automatically invite all of you to a discussion, and you'll all get a little notification in Parlay. So if we were doing this on a Zoom session or in a physical classroom or perhaps on a Google Meets, I would say, okay, everybody click that link. I'm also going to share the link with the class in the Google Meet, and we are going to, everybody click that link to actually join in. So as we wait for everyone to join in this live roundtable, take a look at the guiding question that's there on the top right or left-hand corner. You're going to see your notepad. Maybe jot down any ideas that you might have on that notepad. So at this time, we're gonna wait a few moments. We would say, okay, everybody, as we're waiting to get everybody online, jot down some ideas on your notepad. Only the teacher can see the notepad, so students cannot see each other's. That's just for your own writing, your own notes, to generate some ideas before the discussion actually starts. On my teacher view, I could see all the students who actually joined in. So we see Christopher, Miss O'Boyle, Cindy, Carmen, Sadie, Charles, Geraldine, Judy, Susanna, Jean Marie. All these people all have the little green dot, so I know that they've clicked this link to join and they're on Parlay right now. So it's a nice little indication. Once I'm ready to start the discussion, now everyone will see 4 different options if you want to actually click in and share your idea. So if anybody has something to say about the guiding question that's there, which feature do you like most, you could tap in and share a new idea or a challenge or a build on our question, and that would actually now tell everybody around the room, okay, looks like Charles has something to say, and Susanna, and Carmen, and Dawn, and Jean, and Chris, and we could use the ear icons to encourage those people to actually speak up.
If you would like as well to provide like a little preview underneath, you can also write what you might want to be talking about. So you notice under mine, I wrote bookmarking. So I'm evidently going to be talking about that, but just if you'd like to share any written details about that, you can certainly do so.
Okay, Cynthia, why don't you start us off? Since you don't have to unmute yourself, Cynthia, why don't you go and share your idea?
Yes, I am so excited for bookmarking because I come across so many awesome topic ideas in the universe that I try to remember and bookmark myself. So this just makes that process so much more seamless and easy. And I love to be able to go back and see what ideas I can take from.
Awesome. So when Cynthia's done, she's going to tap out, and now she's off the screen. Next, we'll probably go to Charles because it looks like he has the first mover advantage. He tapped in first. So I would say to the class, okay, Charles, why don't you go ahead and unmute yourself in Google Meets, and then you could speak up and share your idea.
The data is the thing that really catches my attention. I know it's not the focus of today's session, and my only fear is just that it's kind of overwhelming to figure out how to use it all effectively. So that's where my attention is at the moment.
Certainly. Thanks for that. Yeah. Hopefully this is helpful to you, but it does take some getting used to. So thanks for sharing that. So once Charles is done, he would see that little tap out button, and he would basically tap out to tell the class, okay, I'm done sharing my idea, and now somebody else can go next. So I might say, okay, Sue, it looks like you have a new idea about effective clean search. So do you want to unmute yourself and maybe share a little more about that?
I've just been really struck by how easy it is to find everything, and a good number of keywords, and no worry about sort of capitalization and things, that it's just getting easier to use.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. That's also something I love. All right, let's go to Dawn. Dawn looks like she has a question. Would you like to unmute yourself, Dawn, and then you could share your idea?
Just a question about how to encourage reluctant students that are more observers in a conversation or listeners, how to encourage them to share their ideas.
Sure. I'll actually just use a teacher tap-in so I can show you what that looks like. But I'll build on that idea. Basically, if you wanted to encourage students, one way is to do the think, pair, share, like get students to really jot down an idea first, maybe tell it to their friend before we actually start the discussion. Or as a teacher, we could actually see your student notes, and I can go through and actually nudge students. So I'd be able to nudge you and say, hey, do you have something to say? Or why don't you speak up? And I can encourage students that way.
One thing I've also seen with a teacher who's run live roundtables and came across that is that she has helped students kind of build, if you really want to help them contribute to their notepad, if you think that might be helpful for them. So she did that to support those reluctant students who were kind of nervous to speak. She also spoke on behalf of them and just said, okay, everyone, I have something to share. It's one of our students' ideas. And then the teacher actually announced that idea and kind of highlighted how the rest of the peers were responding, and they were positive. So it was just a way to showcase to that student, hey, your ideas are great and they're valid, and we want to hear from them. The nudge feature is really popular, but also sending using that as like a private feedback, so you can send them instantaneous feedback if they do share their points, and that was their first time speaking up. You can be like, that was awesome, and get that feedback right away.
Both up and running.
Great ideas, thank you.
All right, I just actually sent out a poll so everybody can see it on their end. You can vote and see your favorite poll. Of course, you could use this actual feature in Parlay to push a discussion forward or gauge class sentiment, and really just understand what the class is thinking or what the group is thinking about this.
And students are submitting.
All right, before we get to new ideas, you might want to actually check out the build on. So I think Claudette would like to build on what Charles said. Claudette, would you like to unmute yourself and build on that before we go into something new?
Okay, sorry, I think my computer is a little bit slow.
That's okay, we can hear you now.
So yes, what I wanted to build on with what Charles was saying about the data collection is I love that, you guys are having that visualization built into Parlay, and that you then can actually take students through reflecting upon, discussion itself, and how you guys also even have like STEM reflection questions built in. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share.
Certainly. Thanks for sharing, Claudette.
Great question regarding the number. So when it says third tap in and first tap in, that indicates the amount of times that a student has tapped into the circle. So we can see it's Dean's first time, and then Christopher, this is his second time. Christian 3 times. So that could also help to help the moderator maybe manage the flow of discussions. If I notice Jean is this her first time versus Charles is his third, I might want to call on Jean since it's her first time joining.
Yeah, as you would probably imagine, the first time you do this, you're going to get a bit of skewed data because students are probably just going to start clicking all the buttons. What I highly recommend, I did this with my 4th grade students, is I just gave them 5 minutes of sample discussion. I said, click all the buttons you want, click in, out, whatever you want. That's going to be our little explore time. And then we're going to start fresh, and it's going to be serious, and we're going to use this data to actually reflect and understand how it can improve. So the first time you try it, of course, the data is going to be a little skewed, but then as you get more used to it, or as students get more used to it, you can actually use that to inform future discussions. So with that, maybe we'll go and hear from Jean, because we haven't heard from her yet. Looks like she has a new idea. So Jean, if you'd like to unmute yourself, go ahead.
I love the fact that my kids cannot hide. I've been having problems with kids not wanting to be on camera and like not really want to participate. There's no way that they'll be able to hide and not do any work, because now they have to do something, and I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I'll be creating something on the Velt, the short story, as soon as we're done.
Cool. That's awesome.
Definitely feel free to share that if you want to make it public or unlisted.
Yeah.
To see.
Okay, let's go to Krishna because I know she wanted to build on somebody's idea before we go to a new idea. So Krishna, do you want to unmute yourself and share your idea?
Sure. I actually just added the idea on the stream because I couldn't complete the thought. So I know it has a word limit, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So I actually like the live session, and I'll just read out what I wrote in my chat. It allows students to participate without showing themselves, which they have been hesitant to do, as we've noticed in the past 6 months. But this allows them to participate without showing themselves. And I really think I'm going to use this a lot with my teachers as well, because they have been hesitant too. So I think this is perhaps the best update that any of my discussion programs have offered. I really love it. Thank you so much.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. Just a little note before we keep going, we'll probably spend a couple more minutes and then we'll finish up. But something with the live roundtable is you'll notice that me as a teacher, I've been kind of helping moderate it. The ultimate goal of the live roundtable is to get students to a point where you're noticing who else is around the circle and they could speak up and actually encourage other people to speak up appropriately. And so you get to that more student-driven discussion. Of course, it just requires a little scaffolding at the beginning, and of course, this is a new activity for everybody, so it kind of requires that.
Anna, do students have to sign up to be able to participate in the live round?
Yes, so they would have to log in with a Google or a Microsoft account, or they could just sign up with an email. So whatever, if the students already have a Google account, they just click log in with Google. It's very, very simple.
Got it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. All right, and I think Judy has a question. Judy, do you want to unmute yourself? Yep.
Yeah, this was just a quick, are all of these features that we're experiencing today part of the free account versus the paid account? Because I only have the free account and I'm just wondering what the difference is.
Yeah, so everything that you're seeing and experiencing is available on the free account. The only difference between the free and the paid is the actual amount of time that you can use Parlay. So I think that with the free trial, you can use it 12 times or have 12 free discussions. If you need a few extra, just let us know. We could be flexible with that so that you get a really good practice round and see the actual value that you could that you get out of the program.
Great, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop the discussion so that all of you can see from the student view some of the information. So usually at the end of a discussion, we would take this time to say, okay, take a minute, reflect on your own participation, look at some of the data for yourself, and then as a group, we can pull up this class summary and we could actually consider it, analyze it, and think about how we might be able to improve as a group. So we could see how much time each student was tapped in for. We could see our average. Maybe for our next discussion, our goal is to get the class average to 2, or maybe our goal is to maybe challenge a few people or ask some questions to push the discussion forward. So you could review some of these resources with the group and consider how everybody individually did and how that's really important to the class community and how we're able to move forward as a class. Technically, you can add and remove students. So you would be able to just open up your little Manage Students tab. You can X students out and remove them, and then you could re-add them. So that's totally possible. You would just have to do that in the Manage Students tab. All right, and with that, we just wanted to, we could probably take some time to wrap up. We'll obviously stick around if people would like to ask more questions, or if you'd like to get some help setting up, or if you just want to chat about anything, we'll stick around. But honestly, thank you so much for joining. It's been really great to hear all of your feedback on this, and I guess we just want to reiterate how important your feedback will be in terms of further developing the universe. We're so excited to hear what you think and how you use it.
Yeah, really excited to see and explore all these portfolios, so definitely feel free to share with us.
Yes, and please share on social media if you'd like, so that other people can see the great content that you're sharing with your students and learn from the way that you're setting up the discussions with your class.
Anna Lisa, Claudette here.
Hi.
Hi again. Hey, a quick question. How did you launch the poll?
Yes. Oh, good question. I didn't even show that. You caught it. So basically, when you're in the live roundtable, you have your list of students here on the left, and then you have that little. It's kind of like a mini little bar graph.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where you could basically click create new poll, or you could see the ones that you've done in the past. So it looks like bookmarking is a big win here.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
You could also create one and then save it as a draft as well. So you could save and close and come back to it partway through. So if you wanted to preload them before your discussion, you could do that.
Mm-hmm. And if you reuse one that's already there, will it start collecting data separately, or will it kind of add to that data?
It will add to the data. So that's a really good point. What some teachers do, I actually heard this from a teacher yesterday, is she usually pauses partway through the class, pauses the discussion, gets students to like regroup themselves individually, think about how the discussion is going, and then restart it. And that will basically add to all of the information that's already been there.
Okay. So then my other question is, what if you wanted to use it separately? Like say you had a discussion, but a poll, sorry, and you wanted to use it again, but in another group, and you do want the data separated. Is there any?
Oh, I see, for the poll. So, so for the poll, you would just need to recreate a new one and then send it out. So you would maybe have like poll 1,